for all the younger or older black dudes watching or listening, you have to. It's most important to therapy with somebody, even if it's your guy. Like a lot of time we got our chest poked out when I'm too dope. I'm too cool to talk about how I feel. Mm-hmm. My G, get that shit out, because if you don't, you will explode.
Yeah, you will.
I can definitely feel you on that, because in my younger days I was known to keep shit in, and I was never in a position to where I would lash out on just anybody. But for me, it was like, it's not that serious. Let me pack that shit down, pack that shit down, pack that shit down. You say the wrong thing to me, now I'm unloading all of that shit that I packed down. It wasn't healthy.
Right.
So, yes, therapy with somebody, your homie, your cricket, your old school tape, something. Therapy with something. Get that shit out of your head, off your chest, off your back. It's stressful, it's unhealthy, and it leads you to do impulsive shit. Yeah. So Lex, what you got?
Going back to Trayvon Martin thing, I totally agree with you. Yeah, everybody want their home protected. I have no gripe against that. I wish this young man would have ran home, and not in the sense of being a coward, but in the sense of being smart enough to know that this man outweighs you by who knows how many pounds. So by going home, let's even the odds a little bit. You're going to say something?
Yeah, Trayvon was actually much bigger than George Foreman. I mean, it's George Foreman. He wasn't bigger than George Foreman, but he was bigger. Listen, look, he was, and so this is, and I'm glad we're having this conversation, because maybe some of this information will be new to people who listen to you guys and who watch you guys.
Right.
And this is part of the reason why Trayvon was like, I'm going to beat this cracker's ass, because Trayvon was much bigger than Zimmerman. I think Trayvon was like 6'1", 6'2". Something like that. Zimmerman was like 5'7", 5'8", right? So when you just see that dynamic, you're like, oh shit, I'm a rake this guy over the coals.
Plus he's a grown man.
And he's an old head.
Wow.
Oh, they wouldn't call him George Zimmerman wasn't an OG, he was an old head.
Yeah.
So, and he was mopping him. That's what caused George to pull his gun, because he did have him banging his head up against the concrete to where, his head was bust open. And that's when George pulled out the gun. I say all that to say this: when we're young, we're dumb. We don't know the law. One, we don't know how to handle ourselves in situations where we're not familiar with. What if George was like, he tried to talk to him, Trayvon wasn't responding. So what if Trayvon would have been like, yo, I'm just up here visiting my dad. I live over here. That could have been the end of it too. Mm-hmm. But again, we're so like all the time, right. That we don't, some of us as young men, we don't even want to have the conversation. Mm-hmm. So as I watched the trial and all these facts came out, I was like, yo, this is pitiful on both sides. Mm-hmm. Pitiful that Trayvon didn't know how to handle himself. He didn't know how to communicate. He didn't know how to just go home. Right. And that George couldn't I guess, I'm conflicted because, like I said, I've accumulated things, my home being one of them, my primary home being one of them. If somebody's coming in taking shit from, and they do it here all the time, these motherfuckers come through and they check car doors. We got them on cameras, like through the whole neighborhood.
Wow. Oh, wow.
So when they come through, we want somebody to be like, yo, what are you doing here? Because we know we don't recognize you. He could have been like, yo, I'm here with my dad's girlfriend. It wasn't even his dad. It was his dad's girlfriend's house. My dad is over here at 521 or whatever. Mm-hmm. That's where I'm going. And that could have been the end of the conversation. Maybe. If not, my man probably could have came around the other way and checked it out. But there's a bunch of things that didn't go right. And I know that we want to be on our side, but I think just jumping on our side automatically also can be a mistake. One more thing happened here in Philly the other day. Dude was riding a skateboard down the middle street. Philadelphia is notorious for the dirt bikes and the quads and everything just rolling down the street.
Just like in Baltimore.
Yeah, exactly. Dude was in the middle of the street, like middle lane, like 2 lanes on one side going one way, 2 lanes going up. Dude was in the middle street on a skateboard.